Welcome to an HVR Solutions webinar for the release 10.5. Today is Wednesday, 17th of February. We're recording this at 1 p.m. With the release happening later today. I will take you through the agenda for today, which will be welcome and housekeeping. We will then go through the new features for this release. We'll announce the next release, and then I will provide the contact details if you need help and user support in the future. Our panel members for today is Daniel Watts, the product analyst in HVR Solutions, and Vish Sharma, automation tester in HVR Solutions team. So the format of this webinar is the slides and new feature demonstrations. And in case you have any questions, please reach out to us using the contact information that we will provide at the end of this webinar. Now I will hand over to Daniel to take us through the new features that are being released with this 10.5 release.
Thanks, Tanya. The first one I'm going to go through today are the enhancements to the creation of new accounts on the portal. We've actually gone through and created a form to make the whole process much more intuitive and easy to use. So I'll just open my screen. Give it a few seconds to pop up. So what we've got here is the regulator view in the portal. This is available to anyone with administrator privileges and above. So I'll just go to the left-hand margin here and find accounts, and we're going to just demonstrate Road Manager account creation today. So you can see here on the top right, we've got an Add Road Manager. If we open that, you can see there's a whole series of fields here that relates to a Road Manager account, Road Manager ID, entity name, etc., address details, the provision to just check box and have the same address populate again if it's the same as the billing address. And then you would go through and just hit the create button. I'm not going to go through that now because we all know how to fill out fields, but I will open another page here and just give you a demonstration of what that looks like. So just pretend I've just created Brett Graham here, and you can see once I've opened that up, this has been created. And again, we can go through and just select what they have permissions for and what they shouldn't have permissions for. And you can see here it's quite intuitive also, just by selecting supervisor example for access permits as an example. You can see here that it just shows you what is permissible and what isn't based on the selection there. So I'll just go back to the other screen, please, Tanya, the next slide.
Yes, of course.
What is all? Just stop sharing. Yep. I've pretty well demonstrated that anyway, but there's the ability for service provider account admins to update those accounts and those level permissions, which I've just demonstrated. Now, the next one we've got here is the asset form updates. And what we've done here, share again. We go into the portal view, a few seconds for that to come up, and we locate spatial. You can see here that we have functionality here with an add new asset, so just go through that process. And what you can actually see now when you populate these fields is that we've actually grouped the assessment fields together. It makes it a bit more user friendly, and also we've included some new fields for inspection which we didn't previously have, and we've just put them under their respective headings there just to make those things separate, and so there's no confusion when that stuff is being entered. As far as the inspection stuff goes, that is related to a condition inspection that is carried out by either the local council or engineers or whoever else that they want to do that. And generally that is undertaken prior to an assessment, which is done by engineers. The respective levels there, you can see here as far as the condition goes, we've got from as new down to very poor. And the level types for inspections are not conducted, but the level's not reported. That could be the case when it may have been done years ago, etc. And we've got our level 1, 2 and 3 inspections. Just a reminder on the assessment side of things, they're done by the engineers, so we've got to look up there for the various engineering firms, third parties, and our assessment status ranges from not conducted down to an asset improvement report with the tiers 1 to 3 in there. That is it from me. I'll hand over to Vish. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. I will demonstrate the features in this release related to the PBS full design application form. Just start sharing my screen. So first set of features we have is to do with the vehicle data capture and ease of data entry. Under the combination of vehicle configuration, now it is mandatory to provide minimum mass for GVM, GCM, and ATM for trailing units. For the length of trailers, we have added the front overhang and front overhang radius measurements. So the system does populate the most common default values for it, but it will be mandatory to provide this data as well. We have aligned the min and maximum stair axle group and axle groups and axles from left to right to ease with the data entry of these forms. The next set of enhancements we have done is with the exemption and design rules. We have added we have extended the design exemption rules with 3 exemptions related to motor vehicles, which I have highlighted here: rear overhang motor vehicle, height motor vehicle, and width motor vehicle. Also, it is mandatory now to provide evidence to support Section 8 and Section 9 exemptions if an applicant is seeking these exemptions. It is also mandatory to provide at least one suspension detail for steer and drive axle for a hauling unit. So these were the improvements we have done with the data capture. We have also introduced facility to provide to auto populate and auto generate Part A and Part B documents based on the data filled in the form. So user can click generate Part A document or generate Part B document, and it will attach the auto populated documents in the attachment under the attachment panel. Tanya, next slide, please. Next is to do with the API portal of Portal. So we have extended the data we now expose to road managers with their consents and the vehicle combinations. Victoria DOT, Department of Transport Victoria, and Transport of New South Wales are the first users of these APIs. They will be looking to consume these additional data to improve their internal systems and gain efficiencies out of these APIs. I will hand over to Tanya now.
Great. Thank you, Vish and Dan, for presenting these enhancements. I will now announce the date for the next release, which is scheduled for the 16th of March. And we will provide you with the updates that we're working on for the next release. In terms of the user support, just a reminder that 24/7 online support is available with the articles, webinars, and FAQs, and some online training. Any further support could be obtained either by contacting us on dedicated phone numbers and email addresses for customers and road managers.